So I've got a question for you. What is one small but bothersome thing that you hate about drinking that you haven't told anyone else about? So I'm thinking about something discrete that perhaps only you know about or only you notice, but it bothers you. Perhaps it's not visible to other people or you just hide it really well. And I bet when I asked you that question, there was something that you thought of straight away. And for me, when I think back on my drinking days, it would have been worrying if other people could smell alcohol on my breath the next morning. Especially if I've been drinking during the week on a normal night and then was getting up for work and pretending there was no hangover and everything was fine. The other thing that used to bother me was thinking about the guy in my local corner shop and wondering what he thought about my drinking. Now, I don't know why I cared so much about his opinion, but I was utterly convinced that he'd noticed how much I was drinking because I went in there so often, and I imagined him to be keeping some kind of judgmental score. So have a think about what that small but discreet thing that plays on your mind is that perhaps only you know about. And then imagine that problem just vanishing. How good would that feel? And that's what I want to talk about today. Let's talk about the weight of those many little problems and the discrete benefits of quitting drinking that no one else will probably notice, but you will. Because when it comes to sobriety, we sometimes get caught up talking about the really big benefits. And so we almost overlook this smaller stuff. But these things matter. They do add up. My God, it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts sometimes. And if you're a grey area drinker, which you probably are if you're following me, then I suspect your life looks pretty good on the outside. You're functioning normally most of the time, and very few people would guess how much you're drinking. And perhaps when you do break free from the alcohol trap, you might not go on to have a big transformation. You might not climb mountains or run marathons, but you will appreciate these little things and seeing these bothersome things go. You'll like the benefits, things like being able to pick your kids up in the evening without resenting them for delaying your drinking, or not having to manage your alcohol supplies all the time. You're checking their stuff at home, but not too much. Being able to look your partner in the eye and remember everything you talked about last night, and you're not having to blag it or pretend that you know what was discussed when you can't remember. Maybe you'll be able to spend less time getting ready in the morning because your face won't be as blotchy, or you'll just look better, feel better. One of the women on my Getting Unstuck coaching program told me recently that she'd been driving her daughter to school one morning when she'd noticed that she was really listening to her. So she was really listening to her daughter. She wasn't just going through the motions and kind of umming and ahhing and nodding in the right places whilst mentally thinking about her drinking and stewing over what happened last night. Instead, she was having this one-on-one quality time with her daughter instead. And that was a small but powerful benefit. Maybe you hide a lot of your drinking and you have to think carefully all the time about how to dispose of the empties so they're not found. How good would it feel to just have that worry vanish? Or, talking of empties, what about having a lighter recycling bin and not having to worry that your neighbours can hear you wheeling it onto the street with all the glass inside going clink, clink, clink? And I know that sounds like a silly benefit because obviously no one quits drinking just so their recycling bin is lighter. But like I said, it's the cumulative effect of all these small things that adds up. And life is about the little things. Sometimes the little things are the big things. So whether you've quit drinking or you're still on that journey, I'd love to hear what sprang to your mind here. What are the discrete benefits that you could picture if you were able to stop drinking? What's that bothersome thing that actually, now you think about it, it plays on your mind all the time? And how good would it feel to just have that deleted, have that removed? Let's acknowledge that, because like I said, the little things matter. The little things are sometimes the big things. So let me know in the comments what came to your mind during this conversation, and I'm wishing you a very happy and hangover-free week ahead.